In the little town of Willow Creek, everyone knew Michael. He was a kind-hearted boy with messy brown hair and a love for chocolate. His favorite treat was the crunchy, sweet, and creamy chocolate bars he bought from the corner store. Every Friday after school, Michael would save his allowance to buy a big chocolate bar. On one such Friday, he came across something unusual on his way home. As Michael walked through the woods, he noticed a strange light glowing between the trees. Curious, he followed the light, stepping carefully over fallen branches and rocks. When he came closer, he saw a small spaceship, shiny and unlike anything he had ever seen. The door opened, and out stepped a girl with bright green skin and large, curious eyes. She looked about his age, but with her strange appearance, Michael felt both scared and fascinated. The girl was trembling, and when she saw Michael, she took a step back. "Please," she said, her voice soft and shaky. "I am lost. I need help." Michael looked at her with a mix of concern and curiosity. "What happened? Where are you from?" he asked. "I'm from the planet Mialo," she said, glancing nervously at the spaceship. "I was exploring when my ship got damaged. I haven't eaten in days." Michael's heart sank. He remembered the chocolate bar he had bought that day. He had been looking forward to enjoying it after a long week. But looking at the starving girl made him consider something greater. "I can help you," he said. He reached into his backpack and pulled out the chocolate bar. The girl's eyes widened with surprise and delight. "Chocolate? Oh, I've never tasted chocolate." With a smile, Michael handed her the bar. "It's really good. Just take a small bite." The girl took the chocolate, unwrapped it carefully, and took a tiny bite. Instantly, her face lit up with joy. "This is amazing. Thank you," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. As she ate the chocolate, they started to talk. The girl's name was Lyra, and she told stories of her home planet, filled with giant flowers and colorful creatures. Michael listened, enchanted by her tales. He shared stories of Willow Creek, his friends, and how he loved to ride his bike through the park. But soon, the stories turned serious. Lyra explained that she was not just any girl. She was a princess. Her father, the king of Mialo, had sent her on a mission to learn about Earth and its cultures. But when her ship broke down, she had been lost and alone. "Your kindness will not go unnoticed," Lyra said, finishing the last bite of the chocolate. "I promise I will find a way to help you one day." Michael laughed. "How can a princess help a regular boy like me?" he asked playfully. "Believe me, I have powers you can't imagine," Lyra replied, her eyes twinkling. "When I return to my planet, I will find a way to repay your kindness." Just then, they heard a loud noise coming from the spaceship. Both Michael and Lyra turned to see a group of tall figures approaching, dressed in shiny silver suits. They looked serious and strong, and Michael felt a chill run down his spine. Lyra's face turned pale. "Those are my guards," she whispered. "They must have followed me. We have to hide." Without thinking, Michael grabbed Lyra's hand, and they ran deeper into the woods, away from the spaceship. The guards shouted for Lyra, and their voices echoed through the trees. Michael's heart raced as they dashed behind a fallen log. "Try and stay quiet." "Why are they after you?" Michael asked, fear creeping into his voice. "They think I am in danger," Lyra explained quickly. "But I chose to leave the ship. I wanted to see Earth for myself." As they crouched behind the log, Michael felt a rush of determination. He had given up his favorite chocolate, and now he needed to protect his new friend. They listened carefully as the guards scoured the area, their voices growing fainter. After a while, Lyra turned to Michael. "Thank you, really. You saved me," she said, her voice sincere. Michael smiled shyly. "I couldn't just leave you like that. Friends help each other." "Friends?" Lyra echoed softly, and a warm feeling spread between them. Finally, after what felt like hours, they peeked out from behind the log and saw that the guards had left. Lyra took a deep breath, relief washing over her. "I need to get back to my ship and fix it quickly before they find me again." "Can I help?" Michael offered, not wanting to say goodbye just yet. With a grateful smile, Lyra said, "Yes, I need someone who can fit in small places." Together, they made their way back to the spaceship. The door was still open, but the inside looked complicated with buttons and levers that glowed. Lyra guided Michael inside, pointing to a small hatch. If you crawl in there, you can reach the power unit. I need it repaired to take me home. Michael hesitated for a moment. What if I get stuck? He wondered. You can do it, Lyra encouraged, taking his hand. I believe in you. Taking a deep breath, Michael crawled into the hatch, feeling the tight space around him. He saw wires and tools, and miraculously, he recognized some parts from his science class. After some fumbling, he managed to fix the power unit. Lyra cheered as he climbed out. You did it! Now we can leave. He looked at her, suddenly sad. What will happen when you go back? Lyra smiled gently. I'll never forget you. You showed kindness when I needed it most. You'll always be my friend. With that, Lyra pressed a button and the spaceship hummed to life. Michael watched as the flickering lights brightened. Goodbye, Michael, she shouted as she climbed back inside. Goodbye, Lyra, he called back, waving. As the spaceship rose into the sky, a bright light filled the woods. Michael's heart swelled with the memories of the day, her laughter, the stories, and the surprise friendship they had formed. Hours later, he walked home, feeling a warm glow within. He had given his last chocolate, but in return, he had gained a friend from the stars. And who knows? Maybe one day, Lyra would return to visit him again. In the quiet town of Harmony Creek lived a kind-hearted young man named Ethan. He wasn't rich or famous, but he had a heart of gold and a smile that could light up a room. Ethan worked at the local bakery, where he spent his days crafting delicious treats for the townspeople. One evening, as Ethan was walking home from work, he noticed something strange near the old oak tree at the edge of town. It was a small figure, huddled and shivering, with skin that shimmered like distant stars. Ethan cautiously approached, his heart filled with concern. As he got closer, he realized that it was an alien girl, no older than 10, with large, curious eyes that seemed to hold the weight of the universe. Are you okay? Ethan asked, his voice gentle. The alien girl looked up, startled. She spoke in a language Ethan didn't understand, but her expression was clear. She was scared and hungry. Ethan rummaged through his bag and found the last chocolate bar he had saved for himself. Without hesitation, he offered it to her. The girl's eyes widened as she took the chocolate. She unwrapped it carefully and took a small bite. Her face lit up with a radiant smile, and she began to eat the rest of the chocolate with surprising speed. Thank you, she said in broken English, her voice soft and melodic. You're welcome, Ethan replied, relieved that she understood him. What's your name? I am Lyra, she said. I am lost. Ethan felt a surge of sympathy for Lyra. He couldn't imagine being stranded so far from home, especially in an unfamiliar world. He decided to take her back to his small apartment, where he lived alone. Come with me, Ethan said. I'll help you. Lyra hesitated for a moment, then nodded and followed Ethan. As they walked, Ethan couldn't help but wonder how an alien girl had ended up in Harmony Creek. He knew that he had to help her get back home, but he had no idea where to start. When they arrived at Ethan's apartment, Ethan gave Lyra a warm blanket and a glass of milk. He watched as she drank it, her eyes filled with gratitude. Tell me about yourself, Lyra, Ethan said. Where you come from? Lyra hesitated, then began to speak about her home planet, a world of advanced technology and vibrant cultures. She spoke of her family, her friends, and the life she had left behind. Ethan listened intently, his mind racing with questions. As the days turned into weeks, Ethan and Lyra formed a close bond. Ethan learned about Lyra's world, and Lyra learned about Earth. Ethan taught her English, and Lyra taught him some of her native language. They spent their days exploring Harmony Creek, playing games, and sharing stories. Meanwhile, news of the alien girl had spread throughout Harmony Creek. Some people were scared, others were curious, but most were simply amazed. Ethan tried to keep Lyra out of the public eye, fearing that she would be taken away by the government or some other organization. One day, a mysterious woman arrived in Harmony Creek. She was tall and elegant, with piercing blue eyes and an aura of authority. Her name was Zara, and she claimed to be a researcher from a nearby university. "I've heard rumors of an alien girl in this town," Zara said to Ethan. "I'm here to offer my help." Ethan was wary of Zara, but he knew that he couldn't keep Lyra hidden forever. He decided to trust Zara, hoping that she could help Lyra get back home. Zara spent several days with Lyra, studying her language, her physiology, and her technology. She learned that Lyra was not just any alien girl. She was a princess, the heir to the throne of her planet. Lyra's planet is on the brink of war, Zara explained to Ethan. Her family sent her to Earth to protect her from the conflict. They hoped that she would be safe here until the war was over. Ethan was shocked by this revelation. He had no idea that he had been harboring an alien princess in his apartment. He knew that he had to do everything he could to protect her. Zara contacted Lyra's family, and they arranged for a ship to come to Earth and retrieve her. The day of Lyra's departure arrived, and Ethan felt a mix of sadness and relief. He was sad to see her go, but he was relieved that she would be safe back home. As Lyra prepared to leave, she turned to Ethan with tears in her eyes. "Thank you, Ethan," she said. "You saved my life. I will never forget you." Ethan hugged Lyra tightly. "I'll miss you, Lyra," he said, "but I know you have to go home." Lyra boarded the ship, and it soared into the sky, disappearing into the stars. Ethan watched until it was gone, his heart filled with a sense of both loss and hope. A few weeks later, Ethan received a package from Lyra's planet. It contained a beautiful crystal, a symbol of gratitude and friendship. Ethan placed the crystal on his mantelpiece, where it served as a reminder of his extraordinary encounter with the alien princess. Life in Harmony Creek returned to normal, but Ethan was forever changed by his experience. He had learned that kindness and compassion could transcend even the greatest differences, and that even the smallest act of generosity could have a profound impact on the lives of others. Years passed, and Ethan continued to work at the bakery, spreading joy and happiness to everyone he met. He never forgot Lyra, and he often wondered what she was doing back on her home planet. One day, a grand spaceship landed in Harmony Creek. The townspeople gathered around in amazement as a ramp extended from the ship and a figure emerged. It was Lyra, now a young woman, dressed in royal attire. Lyra approached Ethan, her eyes filled with warmth and affection. "Ethan," she said, "I have returned to thank you for your kindness and generosity. You saved my life, and you changed my world." Lyra revealed that she had ascended to the throne and brought peace to her planet. She had come to Earth to offer Ethan a place by her side as an ambassador between their worlds. Ethan, humbled and honored, accepted her offer. Together, they embarked on a journey to bridge the gap between Earth and Lyra's planet, fostering understanding, cooperation, and friendship. Ethan's simple act of giving his last chocolate bar had not only saved a princess, but had also paved the way for intergalactic harmony. And so, the baker from Harmony Creek became a symbol of hope, proving that even the smallest act of kindness can have extraordinary consequences, reaching far beyond the stars. Once upon a time, in a little town named Maplewood, there lived a kind-hearted boy named Leo. Leo was 12 years old, and he had a big, adventurous spirit. He loved exploring the woods behind his house, where tall trees whispered secrets and streams sang songs. One sunny afternoon, while he was wandering, he stumbled upon something unusual. In a small clearing, he saw a girl unlike any he had ever seen before. She had bright green skin, large purple eyes, and shiny silver hair that glimmered in the sunlight. She wore a simple dress made from strange fabric that glowed faintly. Leo's heart raced. He had heard stories of aliens, but never imagined he would meet one. "Hello," Leo said, approaching slowly. The girl looked frightened but curious. "Hello," she replied softly, her voice sweet like music. "I'm Zara." "I'm Leo. You're an alien," he exclaimed. Zara nodded, brushing her silver hair back nervously. I came here from a faraway planet. My spaceship crashed, and I got lost." Leo felt a rush of sympathy. "Oh no. Do you need help? Do you have food?" Zara's eyes dimmed, and she glanced down. "I haven't eaten in days. I don't have any food." Leo remembered the chocolate bar he had tucked in his pocket. His mother had given it to him that morning as a treat. Usually, he would have saved it for himself, But when he saw Zara's sad expression, his heart melted. "I have this," Leo said, pulling the chocolate bar out of his pocket. "You can have it." Zara looked at the chocolate with wide eyes. "Really? Thank you." She took it gently, as if it were made of gold. She opened it slowly, and the rich smell of the chocolate filled the air. "Do you like it?" Leo asked, watching her closely. "Oh, yes." Zara took a bite, and her face lit up with joy. She savored every piece, her purple eyes sparkling with delight. "This is the best thing I have ever tasted." Leo smiled. Seeing her happy made him feel great. They chatted, sharing stories about their worlds. Leo talked about his friends, school, and how he loved baseball. Zara shared tales of her planet, where the skies shimmered in colors and creatures flew like birds but looked like shimmering clouds. But as they laughed and enjoyed each other's company, something unexpected happened. A strange sound filled the air, a low humming noise that made the ground vibrate under their feet. Zara's cheerful expression suddenly turned serious. "Leo, we must hurry. They are coming for me," she said, looking worried. "Who?" Leo asked, confused. "Those who seek to capture me. I am not just any alien. I am Zara, the Princess of Zaloria. My parents will send help soon, but I need to hide." Leo felt a mix of fear and excitement. He couldn't believe he had made friends with a princess. "Where can we go?" he asked. "Follow me," Zara shouted, grabbing Leo's hand. They raced deeper into the woods, dodging trees and jumping over fallen branches. The humming grew louder, sending shivers down Leo's spine. After running for what felt like hours, they reached a large old oak tree. Zara looked up at it, her eyes shining. "This tree can hide us." She pointed to a hollow space at the bottom of the trunk. They crawled inside just in time. A group of strange creatures appeared, tall with blue skin and glimmering eyes. They searched around, their voices echoing in the forest. "Where's the princess?" one shouted. "We must bring her back." Leo held his breath, clutching Zara's hand tightly. She looked at him, and he could see a mixture of fear and determination in her eyes. After a tense moment, the creatures moved away, continuing their search. "I think they're gone," Leo whispered, but he could still hear the thumping of his heart in his ears. Zara sighed, relief washing over her face. "Thank you, Leo. You saved my life." "I didn't really do much," Leo said shyly. "I just shared my chocolate." "That was more than just chocolate. It showed me kindness, something I need now more than ever," Zara replied. They stayed inside the tree for a while, talking and laughing softly. Zara told Leo about her life in the castle, how she wished to explore the universe and meet new friends. Leo shared his dreams of becoming a baseball player and traveling the world. Suddenly, a glowing light filled the hollow. A figure appeared, majestic and regal with a shining crown upon its head. It was Zara's mother, the Queen of Zaloria. "Zara," the Queen said, her voice strong yet warm, "I have been searching for you." Zara jumped out of the tree, her eyes filled with joy. "Mother, I'm safe." The Queen smiled at Leo, her gaze filled with gratitude. "You are the one who protected my daughter." "Thank you, brave boy." Leo stood up, feeling both proud and shy. "I just share my chocolate. Anyone would have done the same." The Queen nodded. "Your kindness was extraordinary. Because of you, my daughter is safe." She raised her hand, and a brilliant light surrounded Leo. "As a token of our gratitude, I will grant you a wish." Leo's heart raced. He never thought he would be granted a wish by an alien queen. "A wish? Could I visit your planet one day?" The Queen smiled warmly. "Yes, you are welcome to Zaloria, whenever you wish." As Leo felt the warmth of her blessing, he also realized he would miss his new friend. Zara looked at him, and they exchanged glances filled with understanding. "Will you come back to visit me?" Zara asked, her eyes shimmering. "I promise," Leo said, grinning, with a wave of her hand. The Queen created a small portal, a swirling vortex of colors that opened in the air before them. "Step through, Zara. It's time to go home." Before Zara stepped through the portal, she turned to Leo and hugged him tightly. "Thank you for everything. I will never forget you." Leo nodded, feeling a warmth in his heart. "And I won't forget you either." As Zara stepped through, the light faded, and Leo stood alone in the woods, a smile on his face. He knew he had made a friend for life, a friend who was a princess from another world. From that day on, Leo would often look up at the stars, thinking about Zara and the adventure they shared. And he knew that kindness could build bridges between worlds, no matter how different they may be. The year is 2242. Earth had finally made contact, not with a bang, but with a gentle thud as a small, damaged spacecraft limped its way into Earth's orbit and gently descended into Nevada desert. Sergeant Major Thomas Baker, a veteran of countless conflicts, found himself assigned to the welcoming committee. He wasn't thrilled. Paperwork wasn't his strong suit, and dealing with aliens promised mountains of it. But orders were orders. The ship was small, barely bigger than a family car. It was metallic gray, dented and scarred, like it had been through a war zone. As a designated point man, Thomas approached cautiously, weapon raised. His team fanned out behind him. The hatch hissed open, revealing a ramp that extended to the desert floor. A figure emerged, small and frail, with large, luminous eyes and skin the color of amethyst. It was a girl, no older than 10, dressed in tattered clothing. She looked lost, scared, and desperately hungry. Thomas lowered his weapon. "Easy, soldier," he murmured to the nervous private behind him. "She's just a kid." The alien girl stumbled down the ramp, her large eyes fixed on Thomas. She spoke in a series of clicks and whistles, a language no one recognized. Thomas held up his hands, palms open. "We don't understand," he said slowly and clearly. "Are you all right?" The girl shook her head, her eyes welling up with tears. She pointed her stomach and made a weak whimpering sound. Thomas understood. She was hungry. He rummaged through his backpack, pulling out the last of his rations. A protein bar, a bottle of water, and a chocolate bar. He offered her the protein bar first, but she wrinkled her nose and pushed it away. The water, she drank greedily, emptying the bottle in seconds. Then her gaze landed on the chocolate bar. Her eyes widened, and she reached for it with trembling hands. Thomas hesitated for a moment. He loved chocolate, and this was his last one. But looking at her gaunt face and desperate eyes, he couldn't refuse. He handed her the chocolate bar. She tore open the wrapper and devoured it in seconds, a look of pure bliss on her face. It was the most beautiful thing Thomas had ever seen. "You like it?" he asked, feeling a warmth spread through his chest. The girl nodded vigorously, her eyes shining. She managed a weak smile, the first one since she'd emerged from the ship. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. The alien girl, who they learned to call Lila, was taken to a secure facility. Linguists worked tirelessly to decipher her language, while doctors tended to her malnourished body. Thomas visited her every day, bringing her small gifts, a stuffed animal, a coloring book, a box of crayons. Slowly, Lila began to trust him. She started to learn English, mimicking his words and phrases. Thomas, in turn, learned some of her language, a series of melodic clicks and whistles. One day, Lila spoke to him in broken English. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Chocolate good." Thomas smiled. "You're welcome, Lila. I'm glad you liked it." As Lila's health improved, so did the effort to understand the purpose of her arrival on Earth. The breakthrough came when one of the linguists recognized a recurring symbol in Lila's drawings. It matched the symbol found on a star chart recovered from the damaged spacecraft. It was a symbol for the planet Xylos, located in a distant galaxy. Further analysis of the star chart revealed that Xylos was a highly advanced civilization, known throughout the galaxy for its technological prowess and peaceful nature. But there was also something else. A note indicating that Xylos was currently embroiled in a civil war, a conflict that threatened to tear the planet apart. The pieces began to fall into place. Lila wasn't just any alien girl. She was royalty, a princess from Xylos. Her ship had been damaged in the war, and she had been fleeing for her life when she crash-landed on Earth. The revelation sent shockwaves through the world. The implications were enormous. Earth was now involved in an intergalactic conflict, whether it wanted to be or not. The world's leaders debated their options. Some argued for staying neutral, for fear of provoking the wrath of the warring factions on Xylos. Others argued for supporting Lila, seeing it as a moral obligation. Thomas, meanwhile, was oblivious to the political machinations. He was focused on Lila, on making her feel safe and loved. He knew that she was scared and alone, and he wanted to do everything he could to help her. One evening, Lila asked Thomas a question that changed everything. "Can you help me?" she asked, her eyes filled with hope. "Can you help me save my home?" Thomas looked at her small, fragile frame, and he knew what he had to do. He couldn't stand by and watch as her planet was destroyed. He had to help her, no matter the cost. He went to his superiors, laid out the situation, and volunteered to lead a mission to Xylos. He knew it was a long shot, a suicide mission perhaps, but he was willing to risk everything to help Lila. To his surprise, his superiors agreed. The world had rallied behind Lila, inspired by her courage and resilience. Resources were poured into preparing a mission to Xylos. A team of scientists, engineers, and soldiers was assembled, all dedicated to helping Lila save her planet. The journey to Xylos was long and arduous. They faced countless challenges, from navigating treacherous asteroid fields to evading enemy warships. But Thomas and his team persevered, driven by their determination to help Lila. When they finally arrived at Xylos, they were greeted by a scene of devastation. The planet was ravaged by war, its cities in ruins, its people starving and desperate. Lila led them to the rebel forces, a group of brave but outmatched fighters who were struggling to defend their home. With Earth's help, the rebels launched a counteroffensive, using advanced technology and tactical strategies. The fighting was fierce, but the rebels, bolstered by Earth's support, slowly gained the upper hand. Thomas fought alongside them, leading his team with courage and skill. He was no longer just a soldier. He was a savior, a symbol of hope for the people of Xylos. In the end, the rebels prevailed. The Civil War was over, and Xylos was saved. Lila was hailed as a hero, the princess who had brought peace to her planet. As the dust settled, Thomas stood beside Lila, watching as the people of Xylos began to rebuild their lives. He felt a sense of pride and satisfaction, knowing that he had played a part in their salvation. Lila turned to him, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Thomas," she said. "You saved my home. You saved my people." Thomas smiled. "You're welcome, Lila, but you saved yourself. You never gave up hope." Lila hugged him tightly. "I will never forget you, Thomas. You are my friend, my hero." Thomas knew that he would never forget Lila either. She had changed his life, showing him the true meaning of courage, compassion, and the power of a single act of kindness. He had given his last chocolate bar to a starving alien girl, not knowing she was royalty. But in doing so, he had given her something far more valuable, hope. And in the end, that was all that mattered. As Thomas prepared to return to Earth, he looked back at Xylos, at the planet that he had helped to save. He knew that he would never be the same. He had seen the best and worst of the universe, and he had emerged stronger, wiser, and more